What is up everyone? Welcome back. Today we are taking a closer look at Men's Fall-Winter 2023 Fashion Week. Well, this season unveiled so many wonderful shows and figured would be a great idea to dive in and see what's up. Today I'm gonna start with Milan Fashion Week, alright? We are gonna visit Italy's fashion capital, virtually of course, and cover 5 of the most influential and important shows. Well, on today's menu we have brands such as Gucci, Prada, D-Squared, also Dolce Gabbana and Fendi. Alright, let's jump right into it. The Italian fashion house Gucci kicked off Milan Fashion Week with its first show after the departure of Alessandro Michele. It was one of the most anticipated shows at Milan Fashion Week. It marks the return of Gucci to the men's runways after the long 3 years. Collection was designed by Gucci in-house design team, which took over the reins after the exit of Alessandro Michele. According to the show notes, this collection was like looking back and revisiting several of the house iconic and successful archival pieces. The moment first model appeared on the runway wearing light brown pants and a plain t-shirt, it was obvious Gucci was heading to the opposite direction. Alessandro Michele's 70s inspired maximalist aesthetic was replaced with minimalist and refined new era. Basically, Gucci design team experimented and explored menswear wardrobe essentials. They made it luxurious and elevated even further with Gucci twist. After the show opener, a volumized tailoring segment was followed. Elongated double-breasted blazers and suit jackets were laid atop white t-shirts with deep, scooped neckline. There was also suiting that featured detachable sleeves and legs. It reminded me of the tailored suits with blown-out knees from Givenchy's Spring-Summer 23 collection. Anyways, this section included also long tailored overcoats with lengths finishing below the ankles. Extra long overcoats were subject of interest for many designers this season. We are gonna see a lot of this in the collections that follow. Another interesting segment that Gucci design team unveiled was in this list. It was portrayed the best by the look featuring patent leather pants and a see-through scarlet shirt. In this list was popular between 2006 and 2012. It was considered as a new hipster aesthetic and can be described as 80s fashion mixed with 90s grunge and splashed with retro style. Other highlights included motorsport-inspired clothing. Gucci design team presented biker suits in leather and also nylon. Looks like motorsport wear is going nowhere and is here to stay. Don't know if you guys noticed, but sailor aesthetic was also present in the collection. This included nautical striped tops, fisherman beanies and shirts, not to mention pirate leather boots featured almost in every look. Last but not least, let's have a look at relatively smaller segment that brought massively oversized jumpsuits to the runway. They featured wide legs with button closure on both sides. When it comes to accessories, the runway was packed with sailor beanies. They were essential accessory in almost every look. Other widely used accessories were leg warmers. Alright, all in all, it's clear that Gucci is heading to a totally new direction. It's a beginning of new era that focuses on minimalism, simplicity and luxury essentials. This collection for sure has been highly controversial and attracted much attention. By the way, just recently, Gucci announced Sabato De Sarno as its new creative director. He joined Gucci from Valentino. Prada's fall-winter menswear collection looked like the continuation of the last collection, but a lot better. The last one was not favored by fans and neither by critics. They argued that it was super simple and basic, that it looked like something done without any effort. Well, not anymore. Even though Miuccia Prada and Raf Simons further explored fundamentals of fashion, they did it in more elevated and elegant way. It was minimalist, simple, yet sharp and elegant. It was definitely Prada, elevated even further with Raf Simons' useful touch. The collection was titled Let's Talk About Clothes. As Raf Simons said, they want to make clothes that could have a reality in this world and also a fashion point of view. So basically, they want to create wearable clothes that would be functional and also fashionable and stylish. To achieve that, they worked on a series of archetypal masculine garments in which they tried to simultaneously transmit minimalism and functionality along with comfort and style. Anyways, the collection started with minimalist tailoring. Prada suiting was super crisp and elegant. Designers gave it useful personality with detachable collar that was 70s inspired and was presented in various bright tones. Suit jackets were oversized and boxy. Suit pants were slimmer with lengths finishing below the ankle. Again, detachable collars energized looks and made them more vibrant and useful. Prada suiting was followed with cardigans. These looks were identical with only one difference. Suit jackets were swapped with cardigans. Detachable collars looked as good on cardigans as they did on suits. Next segment unveiled pillow-inspired clothing. Designers sent out looks featuring pillow bomber jackets and even pillow tank tops. It was more or less anticipated looks because, as I heard, show invitations that Prada sent to the guests were accompanied by pillows. Alright, extra long outwear was spotted also at Prada. Designers sent out super interesting pieces such as a hooded parka, a donkey jacket, and a duffel coat. Miuccia Prada and Raf Simons played with silhouettes and shapes. They cut the lengths of the same outwear and made it cropped. Well, no doubt pretty unique. It's not often that you see cropped hooded parkas or cropped duffel coats. Other collection highlights included a futuristic suiting. Suit jackets were designed and styled like shirts and worn tucked in. Designers accessorized these looks with new kind of tote bags, seemingly containing water bottles. These bags were made of leather that featured a texture similar to a cast steel flooring. Well, another type of bag spotted on the runway was a mini bag, which Prada models wore around the neck. Styling-wise, here bags are partially visible and partially hidden under the layers of clothing. Towards the end of the collection, there was a small section of tailoring in muted tones. They featured details like bright colored stripes along the arms and around shoulders. It was no doubt Raf Simons' work in action, making classic and muted pieces look energized and more alive. The show was closed with suede section. It unveiled the looks with a suede coat, which seemingly was layered over a suede work apron. Other looks included suede tunics resembling a dress. All in all, Prada collection was coherent and pretty compelling. It combined minimalism and functionality with comfort, modernity and style, meaning the collection was super wearable and also super stylish. For Discord, this season was special because the brand was celebrating its 20 years in fashion. So Din and Dan worked on a special collection that they unveiled at Milan Fashion Week. They presented a co-ed collection and showed off their skills in style mashups. They flipped the roles in this collection and dressed men in women's wear. As designer said, nothing is hotter than a hot guy in girly clothing. Keaton Brothers did not stop there and mixed feminine menswear with traditionally masculine garments such as Western wear. Basically, this collection was like looking back and recap what the brand has achieved for the past 20 years. It was about being yourself, being individual, and the freedom of feeling comfortable in your own skin. Din and Dan kicked off the show with teenage archetypes: a geek, a jock, a goth, and emo, channeling Y2K and early 2000s aesthetics. Style mashup was indeed pretty unique. It was all about feminine menswear mixed with Western style. Runway was packed with fringed outwear, cowboy boots, and chaps. Other Western influences included huge belt buckles, denim, featuring large star motifs and many more. There was also a strong presence of double-waisted pants, featuring denim layered over chinos and vice versa. Double-waisted pants truly have a personality. They provide a similar aesthetic as sagging pants, but they are more elevated and more comfortable to wear. When it comes to Y2K aesthetics, the runway was populated with crop tops, often featured fun motifs such as "It's a boy" and "choke," the latter probably referring to a Coke. Other highlights included motorsport-inspired clothing and pajamas. Here at D-Squared, styling pajamas with pink cowboy boots is way to go. When it comes to accessories, they were in abundance on the runway. The most widely used accessories were baseball caps. They featured fun motifs such as "fucking freezing," "recycled teenager," and 24/7 star, here referring to their iconic 2003 women's wear collection. There were also arm warmers with double stripes. Other accessories included foxtails and furry hats with ear flaps. Alright, guys, D-Squared once again have stunned us with a wonderful show, full of punchy subversion and fearless looks. Main message was clear: openness, playfulness, courage, and of course, no judgment. Dolce & Gabbana followed in the footsteps of Gucci and Prada and unveiled minimalist and essence-oriented collection. As designers explained, the world is overwhelmed by images and by all sorts of distractions. So they just felt the need to go at the essence of who they really are. In this collection, Domenico and Stefano reduced and stripped anything unnecessary away. They called this collection Essenza, Italian for essence. The collection was strictly dominated by black. Turns out, color black has a deep meaning for the Italian fashion house. As designers explained after the show, they envisioned this collection as if it were a photo in black and white, timeless, eternal, and without any chromatic vehemence, which would have made it current or temporary. According to the show notes, the specific tone of black was inspired by the lava of Sicilian volcanoes. There was a small segment in the collection presented in grey and the last section with few looks in white. Well, as expected from such collection, it was dominated by tailoring. Designers sent out crisp suiting in many different shapes, sometimes with corsets that accentuated the model's body shape. The culmination of tailored section was a special suiting with beautiful hourglass silhouette. Domenico and Stefano explained that usually it's a masculine construction that's applied to women's jackets, but this time they did the opposite. They took a jacket tailored for a woman and worked hard to beautifully fit a man's body. They worked with their artisans and they came up with such incredibly sculpted shapes that they were amazed themselves. Yet another highlight included suiting that was accessorized and splashed with crystals. Turns out these beautiful pieces were inspired by the wet, volcanic stone of Mountain Etna. Here at Dolce & Gabbana, just like at Gucci and Prada, extra long overcoats were a thing. They were so long that sometimes even dragged on the floor. Yet another obsession from this season's runways, capes also infiltrated Dolce Gabbana runway. Capes added a special mood to this highly elegant collection. They gave it mystical and magical touch. Just like in the last collection, see-through clothing were everywhere this season. Interesting looks included mesh suits and sheer turtleneck with floral embroidery that was also splashed with shiny crystals. Alright, let's have a look at fall-winter season staple shilling. Designers sent out massively oversized shilling coats in many different lengths and styles. They reminded me fur coats from the TV show Game of Thrones. From shilling section, there was this look with white shilling coat that was styled flawlessly with pajamas, leather boots, and a corset. Last but not least, Domenico and Stefano explored yet another popular detail from this season: double waist. Here it was done in such a subtle way that it was barely noticeable. It was styled with a cropped sleeveless turtleneck and arm warmers. In general, the collection was pretty massive, included around 82 looks. So, what a great collection from the Italian duo, full of interesting shapes and silhouettes, new proportions and interesting fabrics. It was sensual, elegant, minimalist as well, and iconic. The Roman Maison Fendi comes back to the fall-winter runways with fresh and original menswear collection. Similar to the last season's collection, it was relaxed and playful, but with a twist, and the twist was a subversive attitude. It was a collection that mixed cozy and chill vibes with 70s disco. The disco influence was clear by looking at the set design, which basically was a pinball track with metallic spears resembling disco balls. As Silvia Fendi said before the show, this collection was all about having a good time and feeling great with fashion during the day and also during the night. Altogether, the collection was cozy, chic and cool. In terms of 70s disco, we had a strong presence of one-shouldered crop tops. As you guys may know, one-shouldered crop tops were huge in 70s, especially in women's wear. So Silvia Fendi brought it back to the runways, but this time as a menswear. She applied the same vibe to shirts and frilled shoulders. I think it was Halston in 70s who popularized one-shoulder tops. Anyways, other references to disco and nightlife included Fendi tailoring, in particular suiting. It featured small letters made from metal, resembling studs. Now, let's have a look at capes. Fendi collection was full of cozy capes and ponchos. Not sure why suddenly everyone is doing capes, but this definitely worked great for Fendi collection. Another popular thing from this fall-winter season, super long outwear, also found its way to the Fendi runway. Silvia Fendi unveiled super interesting looks featuring overcoats with fringe at the hem. In terms of color palette, Fendi collection was done in muted tones, with occasional splashes of lavender and purple that in fact gave it chic and smooth touch. Last but not least, let's talk about accessories. Let's start with Fendi hats. Those headpieces were inspired by aviation helmets. In my opinion, they resembled also wigs from 19th century. Fendi also presented a wide variety of massively oversized scarves and blankets, some of them so long they dragged on the floor, others worn as a bag accessory between the bag handles. Speaking of bags, Fendi obviously never disappoints. Here in this collection, the Peekaboo Mini becomes the crossbody bag and evolves with bold metallic strap, while the baguette gets longer and gets an update with a fringe. There were also baguette utility bags featuring 5 patch pockets in different sizes. They were worn as a belt bag around the waist. Others included leather totes and big duffel bags that models carried accessorized with blankets and scarves. So, guys, Fendi once again delivered another great collection. It was cozy, chic and luxurious with 70s disco vibes. Accessory game was strong as always and the collection was super wearable. Alright, that was it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and got something out of it. Next one probably will be about Paris Fashion Week, so stay tuned. Again, thank you so much for watching and see you guys in the next video. Peace.